My Lord and my God, I firmly believe that you are here, that you see me, that you hear me. I adore you with profound reverence. I ask your pardon for my sins and grace to make this time of prayer fruitful. My Immaculate Mother, Saint Joseph, my Father and Lord, my guardian angel, intercede for me. Today's Gospel out of Matthew we've heard a bit before, not long again on a Sunday, but let's look at this again. Jesus said to his disciples, "Hear the parable of the sower. The seed sown on the path is the one who hears the word of the kingdom without understanding it, and the evil one comes and steals away what was sown in his heart. The seed sown on rocky ground is the one who hears the word and receives it at once with joy, but he has no root and lasts only for a time. When some tribulation or persecution comes because of the word, he immediately falls away. The seed sown among thorns is the one who hears the word, but then worldly anxiety and the lure of riches choke the word, and it bears no fruit. But the seed sown on rich soil is the one who hears the word and understands it, who indeed bears fruit and yields 100 or 60 or 30-fold. Many times we've heard this parable, and I thought we could focus today on the seed sown among the thorns, the one who hears the word, but then worldly anxiety and the lure of riches choke the word, and it bears no fruit. Today also we honor Saint Sharbel Makhlūf. He was beatified by Pope Paul VI at the conclusion of the Second Vatican Council in 1965. The Pope said at that time, at his beatification, "A hermit of Mount Lebanon is enrolled in the number of the blessed. A new eminent member of monastic sanctity has, by his example and his intercession, enriched the entire Christian people. May he make us understand, in a world largely fascinated by wealth and comfort, the paramount value of poverty, penance, and asceticism to liberate the soul in its ascent to God." In 1977, Pope Paul VI canonized Makhlūf. At that time, Bishop Francis Zayek wrote, "Saint Sharbel is called the second Saint Anthony of the desert, the perfume of Lebanon, the first confessor of the East to be raised to the altars according to the actual procedure of the Catholic Church, the honor of our Aromatic Antiochian Church, and the model of spiritual values and renewal. Sharbel is like a cedar of Lebanon, standing in eternal prayer on the top of a mountain." Wow. Have you heard that much about the Maronite Church, the rite of the Church? Zayek went on to say, "The Aramaic Maronite Antiochian Church is indeed a living branch of the Catholic Church and is intimately connected with the trunk, who is Christ, our Savior, the beginning and end of all things." Interesting, a saint of the Maronite rite of the Catholic Church, a model of monastic and hermit life. He was devoted to the Eucharist and pastoral service. He was a bridge between the East and the West, a model for the priesthood, and a continuing legacy of healing and pilgrimage. His body was found incorrupt when they opened his tomb. Pilgrims began flocking to there, and many received physical healings and spiritual blessings through his intercession. Okay, but let's get back to the thorns. How does this work now? What are these thorns? And what are the two specific things that choke the word before it can bear fruit in the style of thorns? Worldly anxiety and the lure of riches. And both of these are pretty subtle, right? They don't reject the word outright the way seed on the path does, or wither quickly like the seed on the rocky ground. Oh no, they let it grow, and then slowly strangle it through competing concerns. Jesus, where am I in this? Let me know the temptations, my thorns. Sharbel's life reads almost like a direct answer to that warning. He left his family's household, gave up ordinary comforts, and eventually withdrew 23 years into the hermitic life, a life structured specifically to remove the thorns that Jesus names. Reading up on his life, we can note that despite temptations towards wealth and comfort, Sharbel taught the value of poverty and self-sacrifice through how he actually lived, not just what he preached. His strict fasting and devotion to the Eucharist weren't ends in themselves. They were ways of keeping worldly anxiety and the material pull from crowding out the Word the way the parable describes. Jesus, in my prayer now, I don't see my path to the desert. Where's the intersection between these thorns, Sharbel, and me? In your presence, Lord, let me do what I really need to do. I need to name the thorns in my life. May they actually come to me now in my life. You don't say poverty and wealth. You say worldly anxiety and the lure of riches. For someone my age or a young person today, worldly anxiety isn't abstract. It's a mobile phone that never stops buzzing with comparisons. Other people's apartments, relationships, salaries, vacations, bodies. It's the low hum of, am I behind? Am I in the right group? Do I have the right fashion? This that never turns off. And the lure of riches isn't just money in a bank account. I don't have one, or maybe I do. It's the pull of life optimized for status, for the next promotion, the right education path, the next upgrade, the next thing that will finally make me feel like I've arrived. Lord, it's in my life. These are thorns. They don't kill my faith outright. They just slowly crowd it out, so there's no room left for it to do anything, for my faith to be active in my life and how it appears to others, how it helps others to move to you. Jesus, let this be my honest starting point. You don't say, you're bad for wanting security or success. No, you don't say that. I think we kind of want that. But look, notice what's quietly strangling your faith, what you're actually hanging your life on. Jesus, let me answer your question. Where are my thorns? Lord, your Saint Sharbel is one of the answers, as all saints are the answer. Sharbel didn't argue against the thorns. He just refused to let them have room to grow any. He walked away from ordinary comforts, not because comfort is evil, but because he knew himself well enough to know he needed the silence to hear anything at all. Isn't that what you're offering, all of us, young and old? Not to renounce everything, but get honest about what's actually competing for your attention and be willing to make room for you, Jesus. If I'm young, and I profess to be young at heart, what would this look like? Not like a monastery or something, or the desert, but how about an actual hour a week with no phone, no output, nothing to prove, just presence of you, Lord, and the space that can grow. More of this, maybe longer as time goes on. Another thing, refusing to let a job title or a follower count or be the measure of whether my day meant anything, whether it was acceptable to me or to you, Lord. Give me the grace to choose on purpose, to give money or time away before the anxious voice that comes inside of me to me saying, you need to save, spend, optimize this instead. I'm cluttered, Lord. Help me to see how fasting even, not as some kind of diet trend, but as a small, repeated practice of saying, I'm not actually run by what I want right now. And what do I really want right now? You, Lord, you, friends, souls. I want to be a saint. Saint Sharbel's holiness wasn't glamorous. It was one deliberate, unspectacular choice a day for decades to keep the ground clear of thorns, that in that space my heart might grow, the seed planted there, my love of you and of others. True, Lord, you don't mean that I have to go to a monastery and practice his particular refusal, but I want an honest inventory of what's choking my life. Help me, Lord, and give me the will through your grace to prune those thorns, and to make space for you, for others. Jesus, your Saint Sharbel produced a lot of fruit, more like subtraction, where most people try to get along by addition, more clutter, more things in their life. Jesus, I'm sure your Saint Sharbel is interceding for me. Help me to see I don't need less ambition. I need a great ambition to be a saint, but I need less anxiety about whether it's enough, whether what I have around me with others is enough. Your grace did it for Sharbel. May through your mother's intercession, Jesus, Mary, may I have the wherewithal to combat my thorns and bear fruit for you. I thank you, my God, for the good resolutions, affections, inspirations that you have communicated to me in this meditation. I ask your help for putting them into effect. My Immaculate Mother, Saint Joseph, my Father and Lord, my guardian angel, intercede for me.